You hit up Big U's wife. You said, "Sis, 911. One sec, let me get solo." And you gave him a heads up.
What I tell him?
You said, "One sec, let me get solo. He needs to leave. Bad." In caps, all caps. He needs to leave.
I said so bad, right?
Yeah, full bad.
What the 600 said is 4 rolling 60 telling on it.
All right, so Wack, let me ask you.
Oh, so that's what the 4 bad.
Welcome to the Gossip Channel. Thank you for joining us on this journey. We're growing with you and because of you. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell to help us reach 10,000 subscribers. Once we hit that milestone, a special prize will be waiting for you. Stay tuned. And now, let's get into the topic. Everybody seems to have smoke for Wack 100 right now. 50 Cent already blasted him for allegedly snitching on Big U, a move people say played a role in Big U's indictment. And the streets are even whispering that Wack might be wired up to trap rappers. But hold up, don't twist my words. I'm not the one making these claims. I'm just breaking down what's buzzing in the streets, so don't shoot the messenger. And it all traces back to one major phone call. A call Wack himself admitted to making, and it wasn't just any call, it was critical. Now check this, Wack didn't call Big U, he called Big U's wife, and straight up warned her about the federal indictment that was about to hit Big U. Wack seemed to know the exact timing of when the feds were moving in, almost like he had the playbook in his hands. But let's be real, who on the outside knows details that deep about a sealed federal move? And even crazier, who gives that kind of warning unless they're plugged in from the inside? This is the exact moment 50 Cent started connecting the dot, and suddenly that whole rumor about Wack being wired doesn't sound like wild internet gossip anymore. It sounds serious. But here's the wild part. Even before 50 Cent started speaking out, Suge Knight had already tried to ring the alarm. Word is, Suge warned Birdman directly to be careful with Wack 100 because in Suge's eyes, Wack was moving like somebody on the Fed's payroll, and that warning hit different, considering Suge actually knew Wack from way back in the game. Then came the Big U situation, and boom, the 43-count indictment dropped like a hammer. RICO charges, extortion, wire fraud, and a whole lineup of heavy crimes. The feds even tied Big U to a 2021 case involving the tragic death of young musician R.W., but strangely, that part never showed up in the full 75-page indictment. Word is, Nevada is handling that part of the case separately, but here's what really shook people. The feds were actually using Wack 100's own clubhouse rants and podcast clips as evidence against him. Imagine that, your own mouth turning into paperwork. And let's be clear, this ain't the first time whispers of Wack being a rat floated around. Roll it back to 2006, Wack 100 and his brother got pulled over in Texas. And when the cops searched the car, they found loaded heat sitting right there. And when cops searched deeper, they found even more heat in the car. Now here's the twist. Both Wack and his brother were already convicted felons, so this should have been an open and shut federal case. But somehow, 5 years later in 2011, the whole thing just vanished. Not because of bad evidence, not because of a dirty search. The motion to suppress was denied. Instead, the charges got dropped under a little phrase called interest of justice. And if you know courtroom talk, that usually screams one thing: cooperation. That alone had people side-eyeing Wack heavy. And right after that, his career skyrocketed. Suddenly, he's everywhere, managing stars, leaking inside info, and talking like he's got eyes and ears in every single room. Meanwhile, while Wack kept moving up in the industry, people close to him started falling like dominoes, catching heavy charges left and right. But the funny business didn't stop there. Reports say Wack himself was caught on a federal wiretap. That's right, his voice on a recorded call with a man named Stutter Box, someone who's allegedly connected to a much bigger federal case involving the Main Street Mafia Crips. And here's where it gets real shady. According to sources who claim to have seen the paperwork, Wack wasn't just having a casual chat. He was breaking things down, connecting dots, and talking in ways that made it sound like he wasn't just part of the conversation, but possibly helping the feds organize the bigger picture. That's why whispers started growing louder. Was Wack really moving like an industry mogul, or was he the secret middleman feeding the feds exactly what they needed to build cases? And let's keep it real. This ain't the first time whispers about Wack's loyalty and paperwork have circled around. Remember when he was tight with Birdman? They were so close, they even launched Cash Money West together, moving like a power team on the West Coast. But everything shifted once Wack started managing Tekashi 6ix9ine. For a man who was already accused of federal cooperation, teaming up with the most infamous name tied to snitching in hip-hop was basically career suicide in the streets. In an interview, Wack admitted Birdman pressed him directly about the 6ix9ine move. Birdman didn't blow up publicly, but people could see the distance. distance. He stopped moving with Wack the same way, and his silence spoke louder than any statement. That alone told the culture everything they needed to know. But here's where the circle closes. This connects right back to 50 Cent, because Wack wasn't just managing Tekashi, he was also managing the game. And everybody knows the bloody history between 50 and Game still casts a shadow over hip-hop today. That beef was already messy, but instead of letting it die down, Wack kept poking the flames. He hit different platforms talking real greasy about 50, saying stuff like 50 wasn't from the streets anymore, that he was being propped up by the industry, and even claiming that anytime 50 lands in LA, he gotta check in or else he's not safe on the West. That's not just reckless talk, that's basically daring one of the most powerful rappers alive to clap back. But Wack didn't stop there. He doubled down with a wild story. According to him, he and his crew pulled up to the SLS hotel looking to get at 50 directly. But when they arrived, Wack said it looked like a full-blown military operation. He claimed 50 rolled with a security detail so deep it felt like Navy SEALs patrolling the lobby, strapped with machine firearms, watching every angle. That image alone had people online clowning Wack. Like, why would you even admit that out loud? It sounded less like exposing 50 and more like giving him props for being untouchable. When the whole Big Meech and BMF conversation came back into play, Wack had plenty more to unload. He started firing shots at 50's portrayal of BMF in the media, saying 50 was squeezing the legacy dry, milking the story for every penny, and turning a real empire into nothing more than TV ratings and merch sales. Wack painted it like 50 was exploiting Meech's name just to line his own pockets, and he wasn't shy about saying it. But here's where it got real strange. While Wack was all over the place throwing jabs, interviews, and clubhouse rants, 50 stayed dead silent. No slick captions, no power memes, no Instagram trolling, nothing. And for a man who built his entire second career off online smoke, that silence was louder than words. That's when whispers started turning into serious talk. According to multiple sources close to the situation, 50's silence wasn't just strategy, it was survival. Some believe 50 knows Wack is standing way too close to federal fire, and maybe, just maybe, Wack was trying to bait him into a situation that could get legal real quick. And 50, he's smart enough to know when to play chess instead of war. And just when the internet started running wild with that theory, the big U indictment dropped. And suddenly, all the puzzle pieces started snapping into place. Out of nowhere, the feds hit with a massive RICO case, 43 counts deep, naming 18 members of the Rolling 60s. It was heavy. Racketeering, extortion, fraud, you name it. But guess who was nowhere to be found on that list? Wack, not a single mention. And that's exactly why people started side-eyeing him harder than ever. Because while his name wasn't printed in the indictment, his voice was reportedly all over the supporting paperwork. Think about it. If you're deep enough in the conversations to get quoted in federal documents, but somehow your name never shows up in the actual charges, that's when the questions start flying fast. And just when folks thought it couldn't get any messier, Wack himself came through with another bombshell that sent the streets into overdrive.
Most, right, is Birdman. Yeah, I'm a dude to keep it 100. Ain't nobody bigger than the politics. That's my brother, and we get on each other. But Birdman, out of everybody, Birdman had got on my ass, like, on me. He told me how dissatisfied he is. He said, I love you, you my brother. I ain't never going to. You know that. We done been in the trenches together. But God.
Then Wack dropped a wild claim that made the whole internet stop scrolling. He said Adam 22, the founder of No Jumper, also got caught up in the RICO mess. Now keep in mind, Wack is basically a regular over on that platform, so this wasn't just random gossip. This hit close to home. Wack actually called into the No Jumper show himself and started talking like he was breaking urgent news. He said he had just gotten off the phone with his attorney and was moving fast to get him down there. The way Wack told it, he didn't want Adam making any careless statements or saying the wrong thing on record. According to Wack, the feds pulled up and picked Adam up that very morning. And if that wasn't enough, Wack claimed they circled back again after that. Like the story wasn't over yet. The whole situation had fans and viewers asking if Adam was really tangled in something bigger than just podcasting. But Wack didn't stop there. He tossed in another twist. He admitted straight up that he didn't even know the exact details of what the feds might have been pressing Adam 22 about, but he was confident that Adam was on their radar for something. The way Wack told it, it sounded like he was convinced the walls were closing in. But just when it seemed like the situation was spinning out of control, Adam 22 jumped in and shut everything down himself. He made it clear on record that he was not arrested, not in custody, and wasn't under investigation, and he didn't miss the chance to fire a little shot back at Wack, saying Wack's got an overactive imagination, basically clowning him for blowing smoke with no receipts. Adam put it out there plain, he's not in any legal trouble, at least for now, but then he slipped in something subtle, a comment that had people leaning in closer, wondering if there's more to the story than he let on. And here's where things took an even crazier turn. Adam 22 admitted that, yes, the feds really did pull up to his spot and even spoke directly with his lawyer. According to Adam, the agents weren't asking random questions either. They came specifically hunting for one thing, a cease and desist letter, not just any letter, the one Big U himself sent over a year ago, demanding No Jumper take down a podcast episode. That episode featured Loose Cannon supposedly claiming Big U had prior knowledge about what was going to happen to Nipsey Hussle before it actually went down. That's a bombshell allegation, and the fact that the feds are chasing paperwork tied to it makes the whole situation feel 10 times heavier. Adam pointed out something that raised even more eyebrows. There's no mention of that cease and desist letter in the original indictment or the criminal complaint. So why are the feds so interested now? To Adam, it's suspicious as hell. And it leaves everyone wondering what else the feds are digging for when it comes to Big U. So what's your take? Do you believe all these allegations against Wack 100 are real? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We're checking everyone. And if you're rocking with these raw street breakdowns, hit that like, smash subscribe to the Gossip channel, and don't miss the next video. It's just as wild.